What is going on, you guys? This is Joseph Conlon coming to you with your NXT review on Thursday, March 26th, 2020. We had NXT return to live action on the USA Network. They did not have a show last week, so that is why I did not do a review for NXT last week because there was no point of doing a review for NXT when they had no live matches, and they just had sit-down interviews with Triple H and Tom Phillips. Tonight's show, actually, a lot happened on tonight's show. The show tonight, last night I should say, it was good. It was a good show, but a lot of it was filler, squash matches, and yeah, this was a very filler show, in my opinion. It was good, but I feel like this was building to like the next few weeks that we'll have on NXT, where you got the big star-powered matches, and those shows are going to be absolutely bangers. So I feel like they they didn't go all out on this show, and you just got other guys on TV who usually don't get on TV to save out for the guys who are going to be in takeover-worthy matches the next few weeks. So that's what I thought about tonight's NXT show. And we'll talk about it right here on the channel. But before I talk about last night's episode of NXT, make sure you guys go check out my Monday Night Raw review from this past Monday, this past weekend's news and rumors video that I did. And check out last night's review for AEW Dynamite. I would really appreciate it if you guys go check out last night's review and Monday night's review as well. Let's talk about NXT that I watched today. Started off with Tyler Breeze and Austin Theory. This was a good match. This was a really good match, but again, it had lack of not having a crowd there for a match like this really killed it, because I feel like the spots they were doing, if there was a crowd, the crowd would have made the match better, but there wasn't a crowd, and it just feels like a lackadaisical environment, I guess you could say, a lazy environment. There was nobody there, so you just heard the pounding of the ring, and at the end, it became way too predictable that Austin Theory was going to lose to Tyler Breeze after he took his phone and he was recording himself, talking he's the future, and he's putting away the past. He gets him up on his shoulder. What was I going to say? He gets him up on his shoulder. Breeze gets off. He gets him the beauty shot. Theory's still holding on to the phone. And Tyler Breeze pins Austin Theory for the win. It's nice to see Tyler Breeze get a win on NXT. He hasn't gotten a win in a long time, and I feel like he kind of needed this one. And Austin Theory could take a loss, so why not? He's young, but he's still progressing as he goes. This was fine for what it was. Tyler Breeze got the win over Austin Theory. Then we had Tehuta Miles versus Killian Dane. This was a squash. Killian Dane won in like 3 minutes. I don't care about Killian Dane. There's no investment in what Killian Dane is doing, and I don't know what they're gonna do with him. He's lost in the shuffle. He's lost in the shuffle, or he don't know what he's doing. So that was that. I don't know what they're gonna do, and I don't know what Triple H and all the crew are gonna do with Killian Dane. I guess we'll have to see and wait. Cameron Grimes versus Tony Nese. Again, not bad. Not bad for what it was. Just like the Austin Theory Tyler Breeze match. This was just to get Cameron Grimes some momentum after he lost to Keith Lee for the North American Championship. Hit him with the jumping double knees for the win. Again, this was the match just to get Cameron Grimes his momentum back. This was 7 minutes, nothing special, and Cameron Grimes got the win at the end. Tony Nese. Let me talk about Tony Nese for a second, man. Tony Nese did something that looks very confusing, and I don't think I've seen it in a long time. He jumped over the top rope. Grimes went on the rope. He bent on the rope and then laid back, and then Nese jumped on the second rope and did a moonsault. That was a great spot by Tony Nese, and Tony Nese is a very underrated individual. He's been one of the top guys on the 205 Live roster for a long time now. I think ever since last year when he won the Cruiserweight tournament to face Buddy Murphy at WrestleMania for the Cruiserweight Championship. And they had a great match on the WrestleMania kickoff show as well. So, he is very underrated. We had supposed to be Aaliyah versus Xia Li in a qualifying match for the women's ladder match, but Xia Li was found in the back. She was holding her knee. She was attacked, probably by Io Shirai. She was attacked. She was crying. She wanted to go out there. The doctor wouldn't let her. They didn't clear her, so Aaliyah thought she would win by forfeit, but Io Shirai came out instead. She took Xia Li's place, and she squashed Aaliyah in 4 minutes. So we got, once again, another squash match on NXT. And I guess it's nice to see Io Shirai back, but again, imagine the pop she would have gotten if this was in front of a crowd. That pop would have been huge because everybody loves Io Shirai and what she does. We know how great Io Shirai is, and now she is going to be taking place in that ladder match in 2 weeks to crown a new number one contender for the NXT Women's Championship, and she's probably more than likely going to win that match now. So I guess we'll have to wait and see about that one. Keith Lee. Keith Lee was in the ring next. He was being interviewed. I don't know by who. Let me get comfortable here for a second. I'm going to pull this back. There we go. So, Keith Lee, he was being interviewed, and he was talking about beating Cameron Grimes 2 weeks ago. He got attacked behind by Damian Priest. Kovac came out to attack Damian Priest, and Keith Lee was the one who powerbombed Dominic Dijakovic. And Keith Lee was like, first and foremost, I want to give an apology to Dominic Dijakovic. Cue Dominic Dijakovic. Out comes Dijakovic. He says, I don't give a damn about your apology. I'm not going to accept your apology. You know how much respect I have for you, and I would never attack you from behind, but you hit me with that power bomb. And he said he took food off his family's plate. So that was a big line from Dijakovic. And then Damian Priest, he came out. He said, I'm glad neither of you are Damian Priest. And he asked how Dominic Dijakovic's knee is doing since he attacked the knee a few weeks ago. And then he asked how for Keith Lee to hold on to the North American Championship, because Damian Priest is coming after the North American Championship. So we got a big three-way brawl with Keith Lee, Damian Priest, and Kovac. Lee and Damian Priest were brawling on the outside. Kovac did a dive to the outside, a set time to the outside to Keith Lee and Damian Priest, and that was the segment. Very simple, right to the basic, and this was to set up a triple threat North American Championship match next week on NXT between Damian Priest, Kovac, and Keith Lee. So that's next week on NXT. I feel like these three guys are going to kill it. We've seen the match that Kovac and Keith Lee had at TakeOver Portland. Adding Damian Priest, I think, could make the match better. So we'll have to see how that goes. That match is going down next week on NXT. Adam Cole is the longest reigning NXT champion ever, and he was cutting a segment from his own backyard. Very nice backyard. He said, "I'm the longest reigning NXT champion. I'm happy to have my boys beside me, Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong." And then he said, "I've been flustering with the Velveteen Dream over the past few weeks, ever since that steel cage match he had with Roderick Strong." And then he asked himself, "Why am I flustering with the Velveteen Dream? He's done nothing since he's come back, and he doesn't even deserve a shot at the NXT Championship." So he offered Velveteen Dream a match against Bobby Fish next week on NXT, and that once again, we got a match on NXT next week between Bobby Fish and Velveteen Dream. Should be good. Should be a good match to the build to Velveteen Dream and Adam Cole. Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch versus Shane Thorne and Brandon Vinc. So these guys were taking on the Street Profits, the Raw Tag Team Champions on Raw, and now they're taking on Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. This was decent. This was a decent tag team match for what it was. Lorcan and Burch are very hard hitting guys. I enjoy watching them. I especially Oni Lorcan. He's very, very hard hitting in the ring. And at the end, Burch got the crossface, and Oni Lorcan got the Boston Crab. Both Vinc and Shane Thorne tapped out at the same time for Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch to get the win. Nice little match right there. Again, this was filler. Like I said in the beginning of the show, this was definitely to kill time for about 10 minutes, and that's exactly what it did. But at the end, the match was fine. So that's all. That's all I gotta say about that. Another number one contender match for the NXT for the number one contender ladder match on NXT. We got Candice LeRae versus Kaden Carter. This was a very sloppy match in my opinion. I've seen these two face each other before on NXT where they had decent matches. This was not their best night. It was just my opinion, but especially Candice LeRae, she wrestled very slow and sloppy, and so did Kaden Carter. And this was not their best night. It happens. Superstars get their off nights. This was not their night. This was a very sloppy match. But at the end, as predicted, Candice LeRae did get the victory with the Gargano escape. So that's nice to see her using the Gargano escape on Kaden Carter. And now she's in the ladder match against she's in a 6-way ladder match in 2 weeks on NXT. And they also announced next week on NXT. I did not get all of the competitors' names, but we're going to have a 6-woman number one contender ladder match to get in the real number one contender match. And that's going to involve Shotzi Blackheart, Aaliyah, Kaden Carter, Dakota Kai, I don't remember the rest, but I'll figure it out next week. It's a 6-woman ladder match next week to get in the number one contenders match with Chelsea Green, Mia Yim, Tegan Knox, Io Shirai, and Candice LeRae, and there will be one more person in there. So the winner will have to go through 2 ladder matches. And I'm predicting that the winner of next week's ladder match is probably going to be Dakota Kai. So that's who I'm going with to win the ladder match next week. Matt Riddle versus Roderick Strong. These guys have great chemistry together. This was a really good match. Hard hitting, as you would expect, for Roderick Strong and Matt Riddle. They got their elbows in, Simone suplexes, the jumping knee strikes from Roderick Strong and Matt Riddle. They're always a thing of beauty, especially Roderick Strong. He does them so perfectly. At the end, Matt Riddle caught Roderick Strong in a powerbomb position, transitioned it into the Bro Derek, and Matt Riddle got the victory. But after we saw these 2 huge Indian guys who are managed by Malcolm Bivens. Yes, Malcolm Bivens is back on NXT, and he's the manager. Let me find these names right here. Rinku Singh and Saurav Gurjar. Very hard to pronounce that one. But these 2 big Indian guys, they came out and attacked Matt Riddle. And then Malcolm Bivens came out and said, Matt Riddle, this is the perfect time to introduce ourselves to you, since your other partner, Pete Dunne, is halfway across sea in the UK. He's probably home, preventing to get sick from the virus. So hopefully we see Pete Dunne soon. But he said, this is the new tag team. We are going to run the NXT tag team division, and they're going to be managed under me. So, these guys are big, man. Really big. They looked hard-hitting for what they did to Matt Riddle. And I could expect a program, I guess, between these big guys and the Broserweights. So, we'll have to see what happens. We did not get the Broserweights against Grizzled Young Veterans yet, which was, I don't know when we're going to get that, but I do think we are eventually going to get that before we get this match. And these guys are probably going to take the tag team titles off of the Broserweights. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see where this goes. In the end, last thing on this show, we had Triple H standing in the middle of the ring. He said there's been one of the rivalries that have defined NXT over the past few years. And then Ciampa just interrupts Triple H. He said, "There's no more talk. There's no more talking. There's no more fighting. We already did our brawl in the Performance Center. We destroyed the Performance Center." He told them, Triple H, Gargano came out. He said, "You expect me to get in the ring with Ciampa after what he did to me in the Performance Center?" And he said, "There will be no physicality tonight. You will not even touch each other. So at one time, Ciampa was close to touching Gargano, but Triple H backed him away. He said, after their last fight they had in the Performance Center, this has to end, and this deserves to be on a big stage in front of a big crowd. And Johnny Gargano was like, we don't need a crowd, we don't need a stage to settle this. It just needs to be a referee, a ring, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, and the camera guy. That's all they need. And that's what Ciampa said too. Ciampa said, I don't need a stage for this. I'm going to go head to head with Johnny Gargano. So Triple H decided that that in 2 weeks Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa are going to go at it one more time for the last time ever. And if this is not over after this fight, they will both not be in NXT ever again. So he said in 2 weeks he will send them to a location. They will go to a location where there is a ring and a referee, and they will fight, and all the referee is going to do is say it's over. So this is basically anything goes, probably going to be in some empty warehouse when there's just a ring and there's weapons, and they're going to fight. We're going to see who's the better man. We're going to see who's the true face of NXT. And then after this, there was a really, really cryptic message, a video package, and it had an owl. It was definitely Killer Cross. It said TikTok. It was very weird. And Killer Cross is coming to NXT. Awesome stuff, man. This segment was fantastic. I can't wait for Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa to face each other for the last time ever. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Like I said, this was a good episode of NXT. Not anything too special, but it was good nonetheless. I feel like I said earlier, they didn't want to go all out on this episode since they had to cancel TakeOver. They're going to stack up the next few weeks. When you look at next week's lineup, you got Velveteen Dream versus Bobby Fish, a 6-woman ladder match to get in the number 1 contendership for the NXT Women's Championship. And we got a triple threat North American Championship match with Keith Lee, Kovac, and Damian Priest. And then in 2 weeks, we're going to get Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa in that empty arena, wherever Triple H sends them. And that's going to be epic. That is going to be epic. I feel like these next 2 weeks of NXT are going to be awesome television. Guys, I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. If you haven't already, please subscribe right here on the Big Fight Field channel. Big stuff coming up for you guys this week and next week. As this week, we're going to have the SmackDown review tomorrow night. We got Asuka versus Alexa Bliss, the Usos versus the New Day, and a new episode of Firefly Funhouse. We'll talk about that tomorrow night right here on the channel. Saturday, I'm going to go over the Dark Side of the Ring documentary with Chris Benoit. I put up a poll asking if you guys wanted me to do a review of Dark Side of the Ring. You guys voted yes. So I will do a short recap on the part 1 and part 2 of Dark Side of the Ring with Chris Benoit. And then Sunday, I'll be back right here for news and rumors. Like this video. Follow me on Twitter at Joseph Conlon. Follow Eddie on Twitter at Eddie Mullins. And also, shout out to my boy Indigo on Twitter, who's celebrating his birthday today. Happy birthday. I hope you are having a wonderful day, my friend. And I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow for a SmackDown review. Have a good night.